Welcome back to the Days of Our Lives channel. Today we will explore the explosive drama unfolding this week in Salem, where family secrets, heated confrontations, and hidden truths threaten to shatter relationships as Tate and Brady grapple with Sophia's shocking decisions. Fury erupts over Sophia's sudden announcement this week on DOOL. Tensions skyrocket as Tate Black and his father Brady Black unleash their simmering rage towards Sophia Choi. The root of their anger stems from Sophia's bombshell revelation that she has already given birth and swiftly placed the newborn up for adoption, effectively cutting off any chance for Tate and Brady to meet or bond with the child. Imagine the scene unfolding in the cozy yet charged atmosphere of the Black family home, where Tate paces frantically, his face flushed with betrayal, while Brady slams a fist on the table, his voice booming with disbelief. This move feels like a personal attack, especially for Tate, who had envisioned a future involving the baby, perhaps dreaming of family outings to Salem's parks or teaching the little one about the town's quirky history. Brady, drawing from his own turbulent past of custody battles and lost opportunities, sees this as yet another heartbreaking twist in the endless saga of Salem's fractured families, fueling a fire that could burn bridges permanently. Adding to the chaos, Tate finds himself plunged into even deeper waters of trouble, as the fallout from Sophia's choices ripples outward, entangling him in a web of emotional turmoil and potential legal headaches. In an invented layer of intrigue, Tate receives anonymous messages hinting at inconsistencies in Sophia's timeline, prompting him to dig deeper into records from local clinics, only to hit roadblocks that heighten his frustration. This mounting pressure tests Tate's resolve, forcing him to confront not just Sophia, but his own impulsive tendencies that have landed him in hot water before. Sophia's elaborate cover story takes shape. Determined to maintain control, Sophia Choi gears up to peddle her carefully crafted fabrication, claiming she discovered a perfect adoptive couple who whisked her newborn daughter away mere hours after the birth, leaving no room for second thoughts or family interventions. Picture Sophia rehearsing her tale in front of a mirror in her modest apartment, her voice steady but eyes betraying a flicker of guilt, as she weaves in details like the couple's warm smiles during a hurried meeting in a quiet Chicago diner, complete with stories of their stable home filled with toys and a nursery painted in soft pastels. This invented narrative includes embellishments such as the couple's professions, perhaps a teacher and a doctor, who promised a life of security and love, far removed from Salem's drama. Sophia's story aims to paint her as a selfless mother making the toughest choice, but it masks the deeper deceptions at play, adding suspense as viewers wonder how long she can keep up the act amid growing scrutiny. In stark contrast to this facade, the true events reveal that Sophia actually delivered a healthy baby boy, whom she anonymously surrendered through the Safe Haven program, ultimately placing him in the caring hands of Leo Stark, enacted by Greg Ricard, and Javi Hernandez, played by Al Calderon. This real handover happened under the cover of night at a designated drop-off point, perhaps a fire station on the edge of town, where Sophia whispered a tearful goodbye, bundling the infant in a soft blanket embroidered with stars. Leo and Javi, overjoyed at this unexpected gift, begin their journey into parenthood with late-night feedings and tender moments, their home transforming into a haven of lullabies and baby gear, all while keeping the origins shrouded in secrecy to protect everyone involved. This hidden truth adds a poignant layer, contrasting the joy of new beginnings with the pain of concealed realities. Tate's probing questions and Sophia's desperate defense. Not one to back down, Tate corners Sophia for answers, bombarding her with pointed questions about the suspiciously rapid birth and her unilateral decision to let the alleged couple take the child without even a whisper of consultation with him, the presumed father. Their confrontation might erupt in a secluded spot like the Horton Town Square, where Tate's voice rises with confusion, demanding timelines and explanations, his hands gesturing wildly as he recalls their shared plans for the future. In a fresh twist, Tate pulls out a notebook scribbled with dates and doctor visits, piecing together what he sees as glaring holes in her account, his youthful determination clashing with Sophia's guarded demeanor. Spoilers tease that Sophia leaps to her own defense with a flurry of justifications, perhaps claiming the labor came on suddenly during a solo trip, forcing her hand in a moment of panic, but this only leaves Tate more bewildered, his mind racing with doubts. Brady, stepping in as the voice of skeptical reason, echoes Tate's confusion, dissecting Sophia's story with a lawyer-like precision honed from years of Salem's courtroom dramas. He might probe further, asking about paperwork or witnesses, his furrowed brow signaling that something doesn't add up in this tangled tale of adoption and secrecy. Amy's outraged intervention and lingering mysteries as Sophia clings to her web of lies, her mother Amy Choi, portrayed by Irna Nielsen, storms into the fray with visible fury, demanding that the baby be placed with a reputable, known family rather than vanishing into an anonymous adoption void. Amy's arrival could be dramatic, bursting through the door of Sophia's place with a mix of maternal protectiveness and disappointment, her words sharp as she envisions a vetted couple from their own community, complete with background checks and family ties, ensuring the child's upbringing aligns with their values. This clash highlights generational rifts, with Amy drawing from her own experiences of raising Sophia in challenging circumstances, insisting on transparency over mystery. Hanging over it all are the burning questions. Can Sophia maintain her veil of secrecy amid the mounting pressure from Tate, Brady, and now Amy, or will the strain force cracks in her resolve? And in a pivotal moment, might she finally confess that Leo and Javi are the ones stepping into the role of parents, potentially reshaping alliances and sparking new conflicts in Salem's ever-evolving landscape? Fans are left on the edge, eager for the revelations that could either mend or break these fragile bonds. Next, welcome back to Days of Our Lives channel. Today we will learn about the issue, who is E.J. DiMera really working with, and how deep does the deception go? In the sunny serenity of Salem's park, it looked like a perfectly ordinary afternoon. Baseball gloves, the warm golden light of late afternoon, and a father and son bonding over America's pastime. Chad DiMera and his young son Thomas were simply tossing a baseball back and forth, enjoying a rare moment of peace. But as we've come to learn in Salem, nothing is ever as simple as it seems, and every smile hides a secret. As Chad and Thomas continued their game, a woman appeared nearby. Her name was Kat, someone who had been showing up more and more lately in Chad's life, though she always had a reason. That day, she claimed she was just out for a walk, wanting to watch the sunset. Thomas, ever the polite and enthusiastic boy, offered her his glove to play catch. Kat smiled and declined, gently telling him she couldn't right now. Something in her tone felt distant, like her mind was elsewhere. Chad, standing a few feet away, caught more than just a glimpse of her polite smile. He remembered something from a few days earlier, a cryptic text message on Kat's phone that she had quickly hidden when she saw him looking. The name on the message hadn't been familiar, and Chad couldn't shake the feeling that Kat was involved in something she wasn't ready to admit. She soon left the park, and Chad and Thomas resumed their game, but the unease lingered in Chad's mind. He looked down at his son, a smile still on his lips, but his thoughts clearly elsewhere. As the ball thudded into his glove, he watched the horizon, the same direction Kat had walked toward, wondering just how deep the mystery ran. A secret assignment revealed that same evening, Kat arrived at the Salem Police Department. But she wasn't there as a civilian, she had official business. Inside Rafe Hernandez's office, the truth began to spill out. Kat wasn't just a friendly face passing through Salem. She was on assignment, a mission entangled with some of the most dangerous people in town. She handed Rafe a flash drive, loaded with sensitive information. Financial records, transactions, coded data that she'd managed to retrieve from E.J. DiMera's inner circle. It wasn't just about money. It was about power, control, and a plot that reached far deeper than most dared to imagine. Rafe listened as she outlined her findings. The ISA and FBI had officially launched a joint task force. Their target, the DiMera family empire. It wasn't just E.J. they were after, but he was the current key player. The mystery surrounding E.J.'s recent purchase of the hospital was one of the first red flags. No one believed he did it out of kindness. It wasn't a charitable act, it was a calculated move. But with what money? Versavix, the company EJ touted as a future tech miracle, was still in its infancy. It wouldn't bring in significant revenue for years. Yet somehow, EJ had the financial muscle to buy one of Salem's most important institutions. Where did the funds come from? Old grudges, new wounds. Rafe knew all too well that EJ DiMera wasn't just a businessman. To him, EJ was a sociopath masquerading as a public servant. Rafe recounted his own painful history, how EJ had once schemed to have him replaced by Arnold Feniger, a crooked impersonator. That experience wasn't just humiliating, it was dangerous. And ever since, Rafe had seen EJ for what he truly was, a threat hiding behind expensive suits and smooth words. Kat, to her credit, tried not to make things personal. But the truth was, they already were. Her sister owed her life to the doctors at Salem's hospital. If that place, a haven for so many in the town, was under EJ's control for nefarious reasons, then everything she believed in could be threatened. The more she dug, the more she saw just how sinister EJ's motivations might be. When Kat mentioned Chad, Rafe quickly reassured her. Chad wasn't like the others. Despite being a DiMera by blood, he had kept his distance from his more dangerous siblings. He had never aligned himself with their ruthless games. And besides, Chad had built a life of integrity, especially since becoming a father. Chad was trustworthy, and he would never knowingly support anything that could hurt the people he loved. Behind closed doors later, Rafe sat at his desk, staring at the contents of the flash drive Kat had given him. Kat stood behind him, arms folded, her brow furrowed as she looked over his shoulder. The data was overwhelming: offshore accounts, shell corporations, encrypted transfers. Whoever EJ was working with, they were smart and rich. Was it someone inside Salem? Someone close to him? Or perhaps someone we haven't met yet? The implications were terrifying. What was worse, there were signs EJ wasn't acting alone. Rafe and Kat began to piece together details from various reports. A name kept appearing. A codename, actually. One that couldn't yet be traced to a real identity. Someone was funneling resources, cleaning EJ's tracks, and possibly pulling some of the strings behind the curtain. Was this mysterious ally the true mastermind, with EJ simply acting as the face of the operation? The cost of getting involved. Kat expressed her concerns. She wasn't a trained field agent. Her background was in analysis and administration, not espionage. Her involvement had started because of her connection to the hospital, but now she found herself on the front lines of an operation that could shake the entire town. Her family's safety was her top priority, and she worried her siblings could get caught in the crossfire. Rafe, ever the loyal officer, understood completely. He'd faced similar decisions in his own life. He had siblings, too, and every day he wondered if his work might someday bring danger to their doorsteps. But some things, he believed, were worth the risk. He gently reminded Kat that she didn't have to do this alone. She had support, from him, from the task force, and from those who truly cared about justice in Salem. To ease her nerves, Rafe offered to teach her basic self-defense. If she was going to stay in the field, she needed to be prepared. Kat hesitated, but agreed. She wasn't sure what the future held, but she knew one thing for certain: she wasn't turning back now. So, who is EJ really working with? The investigation is only beginning. But one thing is crystal clear: Salem is once again at the center of a storm. Alliances will be tested. Secrets will surface. And the DiMera Empire is about to face a reckoning it never saw coming. Stay tuned for more as this story unfolds, because in Salem, the past never stays buried, and the truth always finds a way to rise.